Okay, here's what I've got so far. This is the original design, well, almost the original design. I did add this shelf right here. I was going to have a taller closet area similar to this over here, but I decided I didn't really need that much space dedicated to a closet. And over here, this is going to be used for some taller tools like edge trimmers and that sort of thing. So I actually need that space, so I'm going to leave that alone. I still need to install an interior wall here and get that floor taken care of. But one of the things I've decided to do is I'm going to go ahead and install a bottom shelf here. I was going to originally use that for some taller items that could sit on the floor, but I don't think I have anything that needs to go there, and I can always remove the shelf if I want to later. So I'm going to go ahead and install that bottom shelf, and I'm going to hold off on this closet area, and I'm going to go ahead and install that center shelf as well. So, and again, I can always remove that later if I ever want to turn that into a shelf. So I'm going to leave this one. I'm going to add that, and then do a little bit of fine tuning. So that's where I am. That's what I'm going to work on today. Okay, so with this design, you can see that the front legs are actually on the outside of the shelves, and that allows for, one continuous shelf, especially on the top two shelves, and you don't have the legs getting in the way. But over here, I'm not crazy about how this turned out. Have this kind of sticking out. It just looks awkward to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this leg, and I'm going to shift it over about 1/2 inch to cover up this paneling. And in order to do that without everything sagging, I'm going to place another 2x4 here temporarily, and I'll attach it to each of the shelves, and then I can remove this one and move it without the shelves drooping at all. So let's get to that. All right, I got that leg moved over, and I like that a lot better. Just lines up nice, closes that gap, and just looks a lot smoother. All right, so now I'm going to move on to installing this middle shelf here. All right, the middle shelf is done. So now I need to install this center bottom shelf, but one thing that I noticed is I've got this area right here, and I don't know if that's an entryway for mice or not. So I'm going to fill that up before I build this shelf. And I'm just going to fill it up with some construction glue and smooth it over, and that should harden really hard and block that hole. So I'm going to do that next. All right, the first thing I did to fill that gap was I got me some big gap filler, and I filled that up, and then I attached some boards, and those are completely flush. You couldn't put a dime between the that footing and the board that I've got blocking that hole, and that's really tight. And I've got that expanding foam which will fill any gaps and go out the back, but there's no daylight around that hole now, so that should fix that problem. And now on to putting this center shelf up. All right, I got that center done, I got this done, and I've come over into this closet, and I just put some braces across, just in case somebody down the road wants to put shelves in here. But what I'm going to use them for is to put hooks so I can hang things in here. And I've got the floor, goes all the way across. So I need a nailing surface on the bottom there, and then I need one on the top, right there. And I'm just gonna cut a couple of 2x2s and attach those just for nailing surfaces so I can put the closet wall up right there. So let me go make those cuts. All right, I've got my 2 nailing surfaces. There's the one on the bottom and the one on the top. So now I just need to cut my wall and get that attached. All right, guys. Here's the finished product. I still need to finish putting trim around. I did get some of the trim in here. Come on, focus. There we go. I had some quarter round left over from the camper, and I was able to trim out the closet. That's all the trim that I had, though, so I haven't been able to trim any of the other areas. But that's pretty much all I've got left to do. I can't back up enough to get everything in. So I have to do it on an angle. But there we go. There's the finished product. All right, thanks for watching.